Hey everyone, it's good to see you. Can you hear me? Hey everyone. Hey Thurl. Hey Julie. Hey Sherry, Rachel, Lily. How you doing? Woohoo! Hey Sharon. Well, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. So today, I think we should be live for sure. Let me see. Hold a second. How's everybody been doing? How's your week going? How's everybody's week? You hear? Good. Hello. Just a second. Alrighty. Okay. I was just checking on things with my moderator. Okay. So here we go. Yes, Lillian, it's nice to see you too. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on some books. I'm going to work on some travel journal. I'm going to work on my travel journal. But hey, Vicky, I'm going to show you guys how I do them. But these are things that can be applied to a lot of different books. So I'm going to show you some other books as well. As I figure we've been doing we've been doing our gel printing in here, and I've got books I've got to finish. Not to mention, I'm heading to Morocco in September, so I need to start getting that book together. And the name of that whole program is the I Must Travel. Hey, hey, how you doing, Jay? Jay Webb, good to see you. And so the I Must Travel. And you guys know I'm big on the idea of that. Any of you who've been with me for a while know. Okay, cool. I could dig it. That's always nice to multitask. You guys know I'm big on, those who've been following me for a while know that I'm big on this idea of the I Must Travel and the way that we travel and go places. Are we doing it like we're just consuming things, like consuming museums and consuming a new restaurant and consuming the hotel? Or are we experiencing it? Like, are we collecting experiences? And it's kind of like a different way to think about it. I know when I started thinking differently about the way I traveled and the way I documented my travel experiences really seemed to change. So in Morocco, on day one, like it's like 14 days. And from the very first day, I'm going to start inserting how we're going to travel, how we're going to work, just pointing out things daily to the participants and the things that sometimes we can overlook. And, like, what's your color palette now? And then seeing at the end of 2 weeks what your color palette going to look like, because these are all the things that affect us even back in our own homes, in our own hometowns, in our own communities, when the weather changes, when the seasons change. Really, our palettes as artists really do change. Now, probably not drastically. If you use a lot of purple, you're probably not going to go to dark green. But within the category of colors you like, they may soften, they may deepen, you may add different colors that harmonize in, etc. So that's what we'll be doing. But I like to use the Midori style travel journal that I've make them myself, but I make them based upon the Midori style travel journal. But those of you who did the Jelly Junkadori with me a few years back, it's that same style book, because I definitely use that same style to junk journal. So anyhow, let's head down to the table. Let me show you what I'm working on. And it's really good because I have a lot of prints and stuff down here. Let me just take it down to the table. Okay, here we go. Here we are. Because I'm gonna be pulling from a lot of my stained papers, gel printed papers, and I use a lot of that stuff to work into these books. So I have piles of stuff, but I want to show you. These are envelopes from the last time we streamed. I love these things, and how good they look. They just stain so nicely when they're dry. They just have such a good look to them. I love, love, love doing that type of stain. So that was a lot of fun. So here are some, like this one journal. I'm going to show you my travel journal first. Let's start there. Because you can get a Midori style journal. Like, you can go on Amazon and get one of those. Etsy, there's a lot of people. Hey, Zenner. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Oh, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Welcome, welcome. So this is a journal that I made. So the basic cover is this leather cover. I've had this since maybe 2016, something like that. I've had this a long time, and it just gets better with age. It's very durable, and all I do is I change out my travel journal in here. Here I normally have my different pockets. I keep my passport, like a copy of the passport. You guys are probably like me. I make several copies of my passport, and then I just put them all over the place. I keep them in my suitcase. I keep one in my journal. I keep one in my wallet. That way, if you ever happen to lose your passport, it's so much easier to be able to take a copy of it to the American embassy than to say, yeah, I had it and I don't know what it looks like. Julie, I definitely love cool colors, but happy to use warm ones, depending on what I'm trying to achieve. However, such green and that mustard jaundice color, I'm repelled by. Yeah, we all have the colors we love. We have the colors we don't love. It's funny. So then it's like we have these, this little plastic pouchy thing. These things I get on Amazon too. They're a part of like the Midori. If you go to Midori Traveler's Journal, you can get these things for a little bit of nothing. And then I'll have another book here in the back that I use for notes, and different things like that are in here. So this right here is my Scotland journal, and it had been inside of here until I finished it. And I don't sew them until I'm done. So this is just another one of those kind of elastic bands. You can buy these also online, or you can make them. I just make them myself. Like this is just elastic, corded elastic. These right here I purchased from the Midori site. So the one that's this type. So, either way, yeah. Oh, no problem. So this right here, I'm just going to move this away now, because what we're going to do today is I'll show you how I fill my travel journal with lots of my papers and stuff. So if you want to make one yourself, you can. They're really cool. And then I'll show you how I actually use them as junk journals. If those of you have never seen that before. Yes, Julie, it's leather. So the cover is leather. I know autocorrect is really busy. Like I don't like it because it's not even intuitive. It changes words that you've correctly printed to something that doesn't even make sense. So anyway, that's now this one was one that I did in Scotland, and I was in Scotland last fall, like October. And I did most of it there, but there was parts of it that I hadn't finished. And quite frankly, I really just finished it. Um, and that video is actually going up to my patrons. So the patrons in here, you'll get a video later today on me finishing up. You guys have seen this journal already, but so one of the things I like to do is like all these papers, all the stained papers. This is like a stained gel print, like a roll, something that, I brayered off on or wasn't a complete print. And so I use a lot of those papers. Like this is one you can clearly see that I brayered off on with some black. So I just tea stain or coffee stain those. And then those become foundations for my book. Now, the ink blots and stuff I did once I started working on my journal when I was in Scotland. So a lot of these ink blots and stuff I started making there because I wanted them to be prominent in this book. Also, I was tearing things off of, off the wall. You walk down the street, there's a piece of paper hanging out there. That part got pulled off. Some of it is from those large posters. The one main one that I used in this was from a large music poster. It was black and white, had some reds in it. I really liked it. So that became the foundation. I think I found that on like the second day that I was there when I was in Edinburgh. So I decided that would be the foundation. So a lot of these black pieces, these numbers, I really wanted it very graphic. That came off of the poster. This right here was a pocket that I made from a tea bag that, got discolored. So that became a pocket. And then this pheasant feather, I found on a walk one day. So that, of course, made its way into the journal. The way I did this journal, and when I set this one up, I'm going to do it similar. So I'm going to show you guys. But I did it with these split pages. And I really like it. I felt like it added so much more interest to the book than this being a solid page, because you already start having interaction. And here again, all of these, the letters, all that you see is graphics from that poster. This is all staining. This pocket I made just using a piece of, onion skin or one of those. And then this was the hotel I stayed at in Edinburgh, the Parliament House. So like, I like to remember things from the trip that meant something to me, or that I would like to say, oh, I want to remember, what was that place I stayed? If I don't remember it, at least I can go back to this journal. But I don't really want it prominent, because I try to do my journals, I call it book as art. So for me, I want it to look like art. So when it's done, somebody flipping through it, I want it to be more of the colors and the impressions and the things that meant something to me. I'd rather for somebody to stop and say, okay, why do you have UM there? What's going on there? And for me to explain that it came from this big playbill bill, and it actually was a whole word album. But I split the words up throughout the journal. But it means something to me because I remember where I got that poster. I remember like a lot that associated in that day around getting that poster. So I don't need to have every little card, every little place I went, every little store I went in to buy something. I'd prefer to have larger pieces that reminds me of, what the experience was. So this is also, so I'm doing some my scripting, and then it, I kind of scripted and it bled through on these, this fabric. I made my pages. So before I left and I made this, I did put some of these stained papers in the journal. Like, to me, this, started having sort of a Scottish look to it, this plaid. So a few of the fabrics that I used, I felt like sort of remind me of the experience. I went on a retreat that was sort of yoga, and we were going to some sacred sites. And so it was a lot of yoga, massage. We were working with rose oil and rose flowers. And we were making candles. So it was a real experience for me. I didn't lead that retreat. I was a participant. So when I took the M out, and well, I already had the circle there because, you know, like circles, and then I found that M. I'm like, oh, like, so to me, it was really a peaceful retreat. It it really allowed me to reset, and it took me to a really deep place. So to me, that's significant for me to remember that experience and how that whole thing felt. Um, this is the front part of the album. This right here, or these, anybody, if any of you have been to Edinburgh and gone between Edinburgh and Glasgow, there are these huge, huge metal sculptures called the helix, and there are these horses rising out of the landscape. They're phenomenal. And so I had gotten one of those, one of those cards that you get, um, telling you about the exhibition or telling you about the sculptures and what have you. And I knew I wanted to keep it because I could see using it on one of these half pages. So when I got back that evening, I cut it out. And then I cut it off the whole card that it was on. And then I coated the back because there was something else on the back. And then I had it extend off this half page. So it's like very sculptural, it's very, not only does it remind me of that, but it doesn't so much look like a tourist thing. It's very sculptural. So I also look for things that, like the free things laying around, or the free, you go into an exhibit, they give you the stuff, or and so the ones that have something on it that I think I can really use in my work, I take them. And so that is there. This is from an old document. I think this I got when I was in Portugal. This paper, but anyhow, so was this put in? Oh yeah, this would have been a part of the original pages, and then I put some old documents on it. Letter 3. This one I still had there because I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put this here or not. I haven't decided, so I leave things in there because though this may be 95% done, I don't feel like I have to make every decision. And I would suggest you not either, like get your thing to a point that you feel good about it. This is also fabric that I've stained and stamped with one of my stamps. So this was about me time. You can see I was really into R&R, Echo, like that came up for me because I was feeling like I was really connecting with Scotland, and I've been there before because when I studied in university, I went to University of London. Of course, back then you get on a train, we all went to Scotland and Ireland and, all that, but I hadn't been back in quite a while. And so going back as a, at a different place in my life, I really connected with Edinburgh differently, and it felt like echoes from my past. And maybe it's a part of the Scottish, lineage. Being a McClendon, I have a plaid. You have your what have you. And so I don't know, but I just felt like echoes of the past. I really felt connected to the land in a very spiritual sense. So that's why I put the word echo, because it was reminding me of that. So here, same thing, ink blots. M for McClendon, because after the echo, the M was very also significant, not only for Ohm, but then it was also significant of my, my last name and, all that. This is some scripting that I did on the page. And I just started layering other papers over it. So it's a lot of translucent papers layered on there. This lace, I really love that. And I felt like that was appropriate. This has been coffee stain, some scripting. This is also on just a piece of paper that had been brayered off. I think I actually did some staining on this. I think I was staining wet strength paper with Sumi ink. And so it left that. Oh, this right here is a pocket that I created. I wanted to remember this card because it was called the Black Moon Botanica. It was so cool. And it was on the street that was on was Candlestick Way. It's like where the candle makers were. And I want to remember this because I got some stuff from there that I would love. I don't think I remember them. I follow them online now, but I wanted to remember that. But to me, I didn't want the business card like stuck on a page or anything like that. That doesn't seem very like book is art. So I put it in there. So I know it's there, but this is the center spread. So this was on the poster. This was kind of like a piece in the center of this big poster, and it was flowers and sort of angel wings and stuff like that. And maybe because I was in that R&R space and I was in this space of relaxation, I just maybe felt more connected to, the unseen realm. Let's see, some journals I made this week, I got to that stage where you add things for it to be more specific and more personal, but I let them be for now to think about it more. Yes, exactly. And that's what you should do. I do that a lot. That's why I've just finished this up, because I wasn't, entirely sure where I wanted to finish it up at. This was a piece from that poster, and I just folded it on itself, and it just sort of made a tab. So using some of the journaling and junk journaling techniques, but in a way that it doesn't really scream at you, I feel like it just becomes more a part of the aesthetic. So of course, here's the M again. Oh, now this right here was a little leaf clipping that I took from a yew tree. This yew was 5,000 years old. I mean, phenomenal. And it was in the gardens of this little chapel. And it was just an experience. We just went there and just hung out with the tree and sat in the gardens, and you could just feel the energy. Some trees just really give you amazing energy. And so when I was sitting there, a lot of times I'm not a poet or anything like that, but I'll spontaneously write what comes up for me, and it just felt like the energy of the tree. And so I wrote that 5,000 years of giving, living, becoming. As old as I am on top, I'm far more ancient in the earth's bed, part of a vast network, part of what sustains the earth grid, memory that carries codes and harmonics for life above. This allows the visible realm to maintain its patterns. There is magic in the belly of Gaia, many elixirs and medicinals for sustainability, pine harmonics, because it's kind of like a pine tree. And that was Scotland 10/1/2025. So I wrote that. That was the day that we visited this. So I make these little, if I'm trying to hold on to like a flower or petals or some type of thing organic. I did it with a feather too. I'll show you later on. I will encase them in these sort of protectors, and then they just add another element to the book. Oh my goodness, Malu, I see you writing, but I can't. I wish I could have it translated. Yes, Julie, and you and God's creation. It's just amazing. The awe of God's creation. So moving on, you guys can sort of see. I really like that scripting image. And then here, this was another one. So this was a feather that I found. It was tucked away in this little space that I was sitting when I was meditating. I took a walk one morning. I was meditating, and I was sitting among these mushrooms, and stuck in the mushrooms with this feather. And I love feathers, but I liked just, I don't know, something about it just was the imperfect, maybe the wabi sabi of it I love. So here again, I backed it as well. And you can see how I cut it off so the edges of the paper were mimicked. And so then this right here was the D that went with that M. But to me, I flipped it like this because it looked more like a cave. So the idea of sort of like hibernating, you know, there again, taking care, self-care, that kind of thing. And then ode to my experience. And now this is the male yew tree that was in the same gardens. He wasn't as old as her, but he was still a couple thousand years old. And I think she spawned this tree. It looks like that's what the people there think because it's sort of the way it came off in the garden. So I did that same thing again and then put it on that page. And then it ends with my birth date. And these numbers were on that poster. So for me, it was just really me celebrating a really amazing time where I got to reconnect with the land and have this journey. So that's to me what a travel journal is. This is the kind of travel journal that I love doing. I love your poetry, like you channeled the energy of the ancient you. Beautiful. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Thank you so much. I just allowed her to speak through me, you know. And when I'm traveling and I go to places like that, I just sit and listen, and then whatever comes up, I'll write. So I wrote that. I always take a physical journal. I'm a big journaler, not just art journaling, but I do a lot of journal writing. So, I mean, I just have pages and pages of journaling. And so this one I wrote in, you can see I wrote it there in the journal because this wasn't finished yet. I was still working it. And then I transferred it into here once I was done. So I always suggest having a secondary book so you can just put your information down. You can just mind dump. You can do whatever while you're traveling, and you can make notes on the sights and sounds, etc. And then you can transfer what you want into your book. So I always travel with this. I also have a smaller one like this that I travel with that has like sort of like a field notes style book in it because I like to keep that in my purse so I can also grab information. And then I have another pouch that like my pens and pencils and stuff like that are in. But inside of here too, I keep a ruler. I keep a small pair of scissors, but the scissors I normally put in my check bag. This I normally put in my carry-on, but make sure you take the scissors out. So that when I am there, I can have like a little teeny pair of scissors in there, my pens, you know, like the majority, you have like this little pen holder. So I'll keep my pen in there. And that's basically how I build these things. And that's basically what I take to, you know, start documenting my travels. So the same process can be done. And even like I did a workshop down in New Orleans or in Lake Charles in Louisiana last month. And we were working on these, but you know, like it's a similar style to this, just a different shape. But some of the papers that we're going to be using and what have you. So just showing you guys, like maybe you're not traveling anywhere, but you know, you can keep these Midori just in your own life. Just like that's why I call the I Must Travel. You don't have to leave your geographic area to travel. You should just be inspired to keep these going just throughout your day, throughout your week and stuff. And then that becomes a foundation for the things that you create in your art. You have a fuse tool. Wonder if it works for plastic that thick. Be able to make my own plastic pocket. Oh yeah, I don't see why not. You should try. So this is one that I made, and it started. I started being inspired for Morocco in this one, so that's why I'm showing you, because some of these papers I'll be using in the travel journal, but like it just started. I was working on that, knowing I was going to be preparing for Morocco, and just so much in it was good. Now I'll show you some of these. Some of these are my printables, and a lot of you already have my printables. So this is one of my printables stained. Um, so we always have to have our little writing places. So like something like this would go so good in my journal that I'm going to make for Marrakesh, and so you can have some sort of image that's inspirational, but then I put coffee stain paper on the back. So it becomes places that you can write while you're out and about, so you don't have to make everything when you get back too. So there's a lot of ways of approaching it. But this blue, I really feel like blues are going to really inspire me while I'm there. This paper right here, I love these. These are some of Roxy Creations. I love her printables. She does some really good printables. And I'll get her printables because she gets Italian documents and stuff like that. Like I don't get that kind of stuff, and I love Italian documents. So I get my Asian documents. So we all contribute to it. So I think this is one of hers as well. But I really liked that botanical, and the fact that she did it in that blue was inspirational for me, because I could see I was starting to move into the blues for Morocco. So I'll just do a quick flip. This is some of the ways that I make my journals. And there's a way that you kind of do it, so you start your pockets and stuff get built in while you're doing it, and then putting some ledger paper in. This is good. This is one of my printables, and this is on top of one of her printables, the Italian documents. And this is like, what's the fabric? Fortuny fabric, which is Italian. So I thought that went well. And then this is a pocket in there. See this blue? It's following me. Now this is a pocket done from one of her printables. It's some recent ones. I don't know if I can remember. I'll try to post it in the thing. But if you go to her Etsy shop, or if you go to, most of you probably know Rachel, Roxy Creations, go over to her YouTube, and then click below like her Etsy shop, and you can go in there and you can see all of her printables. But this is good. And I put I put this stamp on it. This is a larger journal card. So who doesn't love a good book flip and some inspiration, right? If any of you know her, you can pop up and put her channel in, put it in a chat. For those of you who may not know her work, I've been following her for years. And she's sweet. Well, when I get stuff, she'll send me a little note or something. She's sweet, and I like that. Yeah, pockets are a big plus. And so I try to build those in. Even in this book, I didn't do I really didn't do. I put pockets in because I was really playing with this double door kind of concept. But I'm gonna do a combination of the pockets and that in the Moroccan journal, which we'll work on. I don't remember where this came from. This is probably hers as well, if it's Italian. This is my papers here. This is my papers. So from my printable kits. Our printables are also going to be going. I have a whole series of printables because I'm starting a whole new series of printables. So the ones I have, I'm kind of closing them out now. But in July, I'll be doing another printables bundle, different from the one I did in April. And they're only $27, but I mean, there are hundreds of printables in there because I just give I have like 15 to 20 printables in there, and they all have anywhere from 13 to 20 pages. Yes, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, all the blues and the larger size. I'm exploring different sizes to see what works best for me. My day-to-day journal is larger, a B5. Yeah. Yeah, her channel's name is Roxy Creations. Yeah. Yes, Julie. Thank you. Thank you, NC. Yeah, I have a tendency to have a warm palette. So I like warm golds and rusts and stuff. But I do find that the blues, these sort of turquoisey blues, make them pop. And I love turquoise. So for me, turquoise is sort of like a natural thing in my color scheme. So this is a fold. It could be a pocket, but that's from the larger, that's from this sheet here. So this is one of my printables. These are all been stained with a letter on the back. So they're double-sided. This is kind of like sort of a belly band, but I sort of use that. I like putting these in the journals because when you're traveling, it's nice when you have a piece of paper that maybe it's something you got, a play, like I don't know, something from a store or from a museum. You can just fold it and fold it down such that you can stick it in. And it's a good way to keep it without having to commit it to the page yet or glue it down, even if you do it for a temporary. Okay, a moderator, she put in the Roxy's shop. So yeah, check her out. I really like her stuff. I like supporting artists whose work I really like using too. So that's another one of her prints. It was a whole series of those. These are my printables, pockets. That's one of my printables from that same series of Baroque fabrics. So anyway, you get the idea. This is another journal page. These are nice to make these because they're ready to go with to write on the back of them. These pockets are good. And then and these were printed on an inkjet, not laser. Some of them were laser and some of them were inkjet. So the ones that didn't bleed like this were laser. These were inkjet. And I like the combination because I like to see when you double side it, if you lightly coffee stain them and put them out to dry, you just get a little bit of fading, but that's what you want because it just gives that old world look. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah. Yeah, I find a couple of nice books that have artist paintings in them. Yeah, that's a nice way to go. Deep blues, rust terracotta, oranges are my favorite complementary combo colors. Oh, wow. And see, that's nice. I love that too. So was something I was going to say about, I don't know, something back here I was looking at I was going to bring your attention to. But anyway, yeah, I love staining like that. And so this is the back page. This is some handmade paper that I use to be the main cover here. It's been stained. So more of these type of things. And I know I was going to say the belly band. That's a standard junk journaling thing. People who've been following junk journals for the longest time. That belly band is a thing. It's not original to me at all. But I like using it like that. Like I've seen it used a lot of different ways, but for me, the most useful way is if I put one in my book, it's because I want to know that I have a place that when I'm traveling with this, and even though this would be like inside of here, and then the whole thing would be like that, with the elastic around it. So it's real handy because you can carry it. It's all one thing. You have your pen, your scissors, your little ruler, your, all your notes, everything in here. But, it's nice to know that if you have a spare sheet of paper, you can open it up and on a page, slip it in to that. And so that's why I like using those like that. But anyway, that's this book. And I have a few of these that over the coming, if you guys kind of want to work along with me, I have a few of these I want to finish up. So I thought it'd be fun to show up a bit of it as I go. So these are some, I like these large document style too. So I'm really into figuring out, like the sizes too. So these are like really the long document style. And I have papers in here, but I'm gonna put a lot more. Just kind of started the process. So I'm using the large journal covers. Ledger papers. Just some. Oh, who just mentioned? Oh, Julie, you just mentioned about using papers from some of the old books and stuff. That's what I did with this one. I had some of those, you know, those books where you have images in them, and you hate to just throw them away or not use them. So I use them as foundations, and I'll build upon them. So I'll put those in the books as well, and then even some of the pages that explain whatever it is. I'm gonna cover most of it up anyway, but I like using those in there as well. So yeah, that's funny. You said it, and I just came across one. Every time I watch your videos, I get inspired to use my enormous paper and paint stash more creatively. Thank you, NC. Yes, yeah, the tall skinnies. Yep. So anyway, that's all a similar series to this. Okay, so I'm going to start working on my little stash here to make my next journal. So what I have a tendency to do is leave my journal like this, just becomes the cover for the next one. You can see it's all dog-eared and everything, but I think what I'm gonna do is make a new one of these for the Moroccan journal, because actually I'm going to change the cover for Morocco. I had this really pretty red leather. Oh, and I've been wanting to use it. And because I'm getting ready to start a whole new project around Morocco, and I'll be sharing it with you guys as we move forward. I don't want to talk about it yet because it's not to the point to introducing, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to deal with journaling and travel and that kind of thing. I'm going to make a different cover. And so then I needed another one of these. So we'll get started. So I have here a black, I just so happened to have a black file folder that was gifted to me by one of my patrons. Everybody was talking about in Patreon, people were talking about these black file folders. I hadn't seen them. And so, hey, Sensible, how you doing? Good to see you. So I thought, though this wasn't a file folder, this was just some black paper. I thought what I would do is use this to get started. So we'll use that for the cover. And I have this scripting and staining that I did on some canvas. So I'm going to want to cover this with this. I feel like this gives a Moroccan vibe. So this will end up covering the folder. And then from there, I have a lot of these papers here. So these are just some stained, let me see. These are stained papers using, what is this? Oh, this is actually some Asian paper here that I get on the roll. Stain that, and then here's some more stained papers. And then these are some really cool stained papers that one of my patrons sent to me. And they just happen to have these blues. When I saw them, I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'll use these as some papers for the journal. And I wanted to use some of my medical strength paper. Hold up. I should have some here. I have some here that's already stained. Because I kind of want some of that vibe in. Here they are, like some of this. So this sort of paper that's a bit like onion skin. So I want some clear papers put in there. So these are going to be some of the foundational papers. So you can use your stain papers. You can use gel prints. And I use a lot of my throwaway papers and stuff for that. So those are going to be some of the papers that are going to go inside. And generally, you don't need a lot of paper because you're going to fill these things up pretty, especially if you're using as travel journals. Let me see how many pages are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not going to count the fabric yet. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 sheets of paper. And because this isn't sewn together yet, when I actually go to put the final cover on, and that's what I'm working on now, I think I might use a vellum. Then once I put the final cover on, this will come out and I'll sew right through the spine. So I'll do a pamphlet stitch, and that's how I'll finish this. So then it'll be a proper book when I'm done. So that's how I do them. I end up sewing them when I'm finished and putting its own cover on. So while we're, oh, see, this is another example. I don't know if this is Roxy's or, because some of these papers were given to me at the workshop, but I like that. So this is I'm going to keep that for the, I think these right here are Roxy's. She does those. So these were just a lot of images that were given to me when I was there. Okay, here's some coffee stain papers. Put those there. This is another one of her papers. I don't think I'm going to be able to resist putting at least a couple of those in because that blue is so good. So anyhow, these are some of those stained. These are some other papers that were given to me. They just are definitely really Moroccan, aren't they? And these are some of my papers stained. So I probably will use some of those. This is some of mine. I don't think this hasn't been stained. Oh, here's some more of that. Okay, so I'm gonna put these over here because these could definitely be candidates for this book. Alrighty, so I'll put those over there. And let's see, you guys saying anything? Oh, hey Sharon. No, we just been doing some. I've been doing some sharing. Who doesn't like a good book flip? A couple books, and just talking about where I'm going to be. I'm working on a travel journal from Morocco, so I thought I would share it with everyone. Just give you guys some inspiration, and you can make a book for anything. It doesn't have to be travel. That's what I'm doing. I've been looking for art books. Yeah. You know, it's like feast or famine. Like you won't see any, and all of a sudden you'll see them. Okay. So what I think I want to do is we need to get this done. So I need what I don't have here, but let me just see. I might be able, I'm the worst at cutting a straight line. I might need to go and just grab my cutter. But what we need is this to be, so I take the full length of this whole thing. So let's just see, I may be able to do it. And where's my straight edge? You know what? We're going to go get the cutter. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully this will cut. I think my blade is getting a little dull, but at least it'll cut enough that I can then cut a straight line. Because my problem is I'm the worst with cutting a straight line with scissors. I always am envious of people who, so I need it to be 4.5 wide. So it's not quite a half. Right there at that 11 mark. So it's probably like 4 3/4. Put it in here. So at least it doesn't go all the way through. I think I can follow the score at that point. Okay. Ah, did it. Good job. Okay. So, okay, so there we have this. So you can do this with any file folder. Yep, that's perfect. And you can see that I flipped this up to make these pockets. I like putting the pockets in it because it always gives you another place to tuck stuff. So let me, and I'll tell you the height that I'm doing so you guys will know. Let me just, I don't have my bone folder, but I'm not going back in there to get it. So I'll just use my ruler to score this edge so I can fold it. Okay, so measure twice, cut once. You know the old adage. This height, you know, I sort of I figured this out years ago. So I just always use the one I have as a template. No need to keep on figuring it anew. Just kind of use the rounded side. Okay. So see, that gave it a nice little score. You can see that. So if we take that and fold it up, okay. I'm not going to go back and get my bone folder. So the core of this is white. That's interesting. The core of this folder is white because I got a white edge there, but I'll fix that because I'm going to be covering it with this anyway. So let's go ahead and get this piece cut out of it, which is this angle right here. So I just need to just cut a bit out. I don't know how, let me see, how far is that angle? Everything for me is just putting it down. Okay, so my scissors, I do have those. So just take and cut a wedge out up to that part. That should do it. Yeah. See, so then that gives you your pockets. Easy peasy. Okay. So it's just that easy with a file folder. Yeah, I could definitely use the ink. Yeah, like a marker. Yeah. I took a lot of pictures. Well, okay, let's hear this because I want to hear about Morocco. Anybody who has any suggestions on places to go, who's been there before, please put it in the chat because I want all the suggestions I possibly can get. I'll also be going to Casablanca. I'll be going to Fez. So anyone who knows anything, because I'll be talking about this coming up over the next, few sessions. So let me know. I took a lot of pictures while in Morocco. I think I'll print them on paper and use them. Never thought of this before. I printed them for cards. Yeah, what are you talking about? Yes, absolutely. Because you can do them even like, I have some papers here. Let's move these out the way. We don't need these anymore. Get these all the way over. It's nice to have a large table. Some of this right here, you made me think about this. So also, I've been collecting postcards. Like this one is from Tunisia, but it just has that, that's that whole feeling about it, old postcard. So these are some images that I want to use and reproduce, probably in the journal. Here are some papers. Oh, love that Arabic text. And but in here, here are some more papers I can use. I think that's why I pulled these out. These are papers that I just stained using my, the foamies, art foamies. I think some of you got those when I was doing them. Sometimes I'm disappointed the paper. I know what you mean, Julie. But I think I'll use a few of these. So this is just done on top of old gel prints where, I didn't pull the whole amount, or I might have been using it to clean the plate. And then I stamped, and then I coffee stained them. You get some really good effects. I like that. But I like how the paper is bleeding. And this is on top of some gel prints. We could maybe do that. You guys want to do that next streaming session? Let me know. We can do them on these sort of softer papers. Like I use them on like my the calligraphy papers that I've talked about. You can get these on Amazon. Maybe ask my moderator to put the link from Amazon in the chat, so at least you guys can go look at them. You can get them in the cream or the white. I think Amazon only has the white, but it doesn't matter because you're going to stain them. But it's like you get 60 sheets for like, I don't know, $8 or something like that. But I love these. And so I normally will just do some very simple old wall, just kind of pulling colors on them, not doing a whole lot of anything. And then I'll come back and I will stamp with the fountain pen inks. And then, like you can see here, I'll use those stamps. You can use any stamps, and then coffee stain them, and you get this effect really good. Yeah. So everybody saying yes? Okay. I need to have my moderator. Please remind me that that's what we're going to do the next streaming, because I'll forget. Like what am I going to do? And then I'll forget. I asked you guys, and you said yes. So we can make some of these, but these right here would be good. But that's what I was going to show you. What is your first name? I just keep on seeing J Webb, and you don't have to. If I just say J, are you okay with that? Okay, just let me know. Anyway, so that's what I did here. Like this is one of a mosque. These aren't pictures I took, but these are pictures that were on some old slides that I found a few years back. And so what you do is you can lay them out like this on your papers, and then you can coffee stain them, and then they'll look like those other papers that I've been moving around the place. You'll get this sort of look to a page, right? Well, you'll have like individual images, and then you coffee stain them, and then you can use them. Yeah. You guys can do that with a lot of your photos. So I'll be using these too. This is something, this looks like, I kind of pulled this out because it was things on there that sort of reminded me of mosques. I think these are some of my printables as well. Oh, I need to stain these, but I want these in the book. So I'll put those over there. Oh, this is good too. Yeah, this is from some printables I had. Okay, so those in there. And then Oh, these came from some old documents. So I like, you know, going through some old books and old documents. You might find things that kind of have the vibe, and you can reproduce these too. You can reproduce these yourself and then stain them. So yeah, lots of ideas, lots of things that can be done. Okay, so let's put this over there. This link, the ink bled edges. Let me say, you mentioned this already. I apologize. No problem, Shannon. Where did you get those gorgeous black folders? Yeah, one of my patrons gave them to me, but I think she said she got them on Amazon. I know, Sherry, I think you might still. Oh, Josie. Oh, that's what Jay. I should have known because of the web. Oh my God. But I didn't want to assume. Yeah, so okay, Josie, your Albert, when you get home, I'll send you some of my experience. Yeah, please. Info on my experience. Oh, yeah, please. Please do. Anybody. I'm so open to suggestions. I'm really looking forward to. I've never been to Morocco before, so I'm looking forward to. Yeah, this is the Daiso. If you have a Daiso near you, then you can go and get these. All of them don't carry them any longer. It used to be the time you always had them at a Daiso, but I've gone to some near me and they don't even always have them, but you can find them on Amazon. So we'll try to put a link in. But we can print on these because this paper is really cool for printing on. You get a lot of nice effects. Okay, so where are we? I'm all over the place. I'm trying to keep up with the comments and going. Okay, so that was probably easier than what you thought it was going to be. Making this little folio. Oh, let me give you the dimensions. I try to keep myself organized too, because if I don't, I'll be all over the place. Let's put that there for right now. Close this up. See, I could put one of these envelopes in there too. I think the color of this envelope is good. So I think I'll put that over there. This is some old paper from Morocco. Put that in there. It's nice. And then I'll carry a lot of scraps like this with me, like these scraps. I put them in an envelope and take them. I'll go through and curate some. So I already have little pieces ready to go. And then I'll put an envelope in my book as well. And then you can even use, sometimes I'll use these little pockets because I don't really want a whole lot of it. I just want enough of papers with some of my colors and some of my fragments on it. So when I do start journaling, I'll have that stuff. Put those there. Okay, so these we're going to get back to. Now let me get my glue stick. And we're going to work with this. So the nice thing about it is that it almost covers it. So that's good. And then I have an extra piece here. So I'll be able to kind of like do a little collage thing. Okay. But I think that's going to be good on here for this journal. I think what I want to, no, I'll leave it like this. Okay. So what I would do is take and put, let's go ahead and put the glue right on the folio here. This is the Tombow. I really, really, really like the Tombow. It's a nice PVA. It dries clear. And I do get the refills for them. Although, believe it or not, one of my patrons had to tell me that this tip was on the end. Can you believe that? I just thought it was the bottom of the thing. I literally thought that it was just the bottom of, even though it said broad tip, I never paid it any attention because I was always using the pen tip. I love the pen tip because you just get the right amount out when you're trying to just put it in little places. But then she saw me using this when I was doing big places, and she texted me. She said, "Hey, she said, you already know this. I don't know though. I'm not sure." But that bottom comes off and it's a broad tip. I'm like, get out of here. I had to laugh at myself. So anyway, you get a lot done in a little bit of time using this tip. Oh, it's hysterical. So I'm only going to go to a certain, I'm going to stop this because I noticed that it wasn't as long. So I can always add glue when once it's, if I need to add a little bit more. I'd rather stop and not have a mess than. Okay, so where's my little top? I just had it. Don't you love it when that happens? I don't know what I did with it. Okay, I'll survive. It'll pop up. Okay, so I want to use this side here. So that's weird. Did it just pop into another dimension? That's strange. I know you guys are probably telling me where it is. Okay. So what we're going to do is go ahead. We got a lot of glue on there, so that's good. I'm just going to go ahead and put, no, because it's going to fold this way. So I want the full front this way. So let's put this to that edge. And then okay. The Tombow is really good, and it's a very strong glue, so it really does hold over time. So I like to go ahead and fold it now because I want to make sure that it has enough space to expand. You know, it's nothing worse than having the whole thing happen and then you go to fold it, especially using cloth, or in this case, this is canvas. And then it's too stiff and then it starts being too tight and it pops. Were you saying, allow, oh, wait a minute. You're having a problem, aren't you, Julie? Your autocorrect is running your life. Good gracious, right? The Daiso paper you have there, if it's allowed color that looks like unbleached, I have it. Yeah, this one is unbleached. I get both. I love the unbleached just because, especially if I'm gel printing and I don't plan on staining, then I like using that unbleached because it's just not a stark white. You know, it gives you, like, I must have dropped that cap somewhere. Like, this is insane. Oh, here it is, all the way over here. Well, maybe put it all the way over there. Gracious. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure out what I want to do is, I think I'm gonna sort of rip it just to kind of get, because this does rip, just to kind of get a cool edge on it. It's a canvas. So I'll kind of have it sort of do like that. So I'm gonna put some glue on it, and then let's just do, wait a minute, I might like this piece better. Let's just overlap. Because I like that edge. Okay, So let's get some more glue on here. I'll just go ahead and put the glue right on here now because it's going to overlap onto this. So I just make sure I have enough glue on everything. I love books. What is it about books that we love so much, especially, you know, these kind of journals and stuff? They're just, I think it's just because of the intimacy. Books have a certain level of intimacy, you know, because you pick it up, you hold it. A lot of times you put things in it that may be your favorite things. I don't know. What about you guys? What is it that you think you like the most about books? What attracts you to books? Just curious. See, that's good. Now I wish this were the front. I might end up putting an edge on the front too. Okay, let's cut it. So we'll put some, I'm gonna get some glue up underneath here. It's the paper for you, Julie. Yeah. Yeah, paper. I like the way I like the way books feel in my hand. I like the fact that I'm like actually holding something that that's text. I guess I like the texture of them, like they're tactile. Just clean, as I know I'm going to squish some of that glue out so I get a nice edge. Okay, let's go ahead and get this piece on there. Yeah. Also, the smell of paper. Shannon says tactile element that creates a more personal connection to my art. Yeah, it's that intimacy, right? That personal connection, that feeling. Yeah, the texture. And I guess for me too, I can't avoid the fact that it feels like just because it's a book, it feels like it's telling me a story. I feel like it's talking back, like it feels like you have an interactive connection. You know, unlike, I mean, I love sculpture, I love wall art, you know, all of it. But to me, books feel like they're talking back. It feels like there's a dialogue or conversation going on. And I like that about it too. I don't feel like they're static. I feel like they have a lot of movement in them because of that. Okay, so this is good. Oh, I love it. So we're going to let this dry, but I need to get some more underneath here. And then before I cut that space in them, I just let this whole thing dry because it's nothing worse trying to cut wet paper, fabric, or whatever. And then once it's all dry, if there's any spaces that, you know, need a little more glue, you just use that little, the little, you know, pen tip and just stick it in there. Okay, so that's our cover. I think we're looking good. It's a great start. So that would be how this would go inside of here like that. Oh, that's going to be good. Ooh, yes. Okay, so we're going to let this dry. I'll put this over there. And then let's start working on our papers. The way I plan on doing this, I don't spend much time touching my paintings. I know, Shannon, right? You know, it's like you look at them, they can have that larger inspiration, but I just like the way a book feels. And I also like when I'm traveling to have books with me like this. Like I said, I always travel with my journal. This journal is done. I started a new one. The new one is like a light blue. But this is a moleskin. I like the moleskins and I like the lecterns. Those two I like a lot. So those are normally the two journals I use, even though they can be expensive. The papers are so much better that they don't bleed through. So I don't have to worry about what I wrote on one side bleeding through to the other side. This is gessoed. That's gessoed canvas, and then it's gessoed. This is the raw side, and then yeah, then I did my scripting on it. I did my intuitive scripting. I let it dry, but Sumi ink doesn't bleed once it dries, and then I used coffee staining. I used rusted pieces, and I let it sit outside and dry in the hot sun to really kind of bake the colors in. So yeah. Okay. Now let's go ahead and start. Let's get the size of the pages figured out. So I'll start with an 8.5 by 11, and I'm okay with them being ripped because that just gives an opportunity to fix a tear. You know, it just becomes another place where element will go. So I want it to be about that wide, and let's see, that's good. And they always have, I mean, they always will stick out a little bit from my see that once it starts getting bigger, it's going to stick out, but that's why I just make it a little bit bigger than the paper, and then you take it from there. It's all good. So for me, I would say that that's good. And then as opposed to cutting this, I fold it back, because that's how you begin to get your pockets or your tuck spots. Don't get rid of that. Keep it. Okay. So that's going to be the size we're going to go with. So that means that let's find, I think I said there were 12. So let me find 12 sheets. Like I'm definitely using this. Oh, that's just going to be so good as a, oh yeah, look at that. That's just going to be so good as a beginning page. That'll probably be the first page in the journal. This is a vintage piece that I think I got, I don't know, from one of the sellers, you know. Okay, so that's good. So that's going to be sort of like our beginning piece. And since I didn't want to cut it off, that'll just become a tuck spot or something too. Okay. I'm gonna hold on to this because I think that can work its way into our journal. Because like, for instance, this right here could get, like, I could decide to flip this way and then put this, how would I do it? It might be too long that way. I might have to, oh, I could put it this way. You know, it's always like Greek, and then glue it there, because it can glue there. Yeah, that's what I would do. I could glue it there, and then it opens up. And so that would then be, it would open up again. So that's a place that you can put stuff. And then we still have this page here that you could also take another piece. Let's say you have another piece of something. I wouldn't use this. This is too thin. But then you could literally take and glue another piece on, and then that whole thing would become a page. So I make them so that I don't have to make any commitments yet. Because as you start working with them, that's when you start figuring out what you want to do. So this is definitely going to make its way into the journal. So I put that there. These right here I want to use, I'm going to have to stain them first. But that doesn't keep me from cutting them down, because we're not going to, sorry that I have to do this part, but I don't know what I want to do till I do it. So you can sort of figure out, even if you have papers that are not exactly the color you want, like I definitely want this to be stained, you can still go ahead and start figuring out what you want. And then fold it down and put them in so you can make your decisions, and then you can come back and, you know, obviously stain it. That's what I'd sort of do. Am I missing anything? Yes, side pocket. One of the first things I do when I buy a new book, smell the pages. I know, I love the way you smell. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Julie. So, yeah, I love the way books smell. It's so funny, isn't it? They're really, they just, to me, they stimulate so many of the senses. Try to cut these things straight, but it doesn't matter. Because you know what I'm gonna do with these? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make these into half sheets. I'll show you guys. Okay. It's like once it goes wrong, then forget it. You might as well just cut it, because you're not ever going to get that little piece. At least I don't have a secret for it. Maybe you guys know how to get it done. I don't. Okay, so one more. So I think to make these interesting, these will become the half pages in this book that I'm talking about. That, you know, that I sort of did in that other one. I should stop trying to cut it so close. Just a little closer. Oh. Hey, Ellen. Oh, thank you, Ellen. I appreciate you. Good seeing you in here. I need to get in the art salon, those guys in here who are patrons. We'll be doing an art salon this Sunday. I need to actually make sure I put the Zoom link in the group. I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, wait, this is the last Sunday of the month. This is the art salon. Okay. Can't wait to see what all of you guys have done with our archetypes project. Okay, so this would be, we already have 2. This is 3, 4, 5. Let's get another one of these. 5, 6. And then once again, we'll keep that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's grab one of these. 7, that's a good one to use, right? 7. Oh, I definitely want to use this. 8. See, I've used some of these. This is good. 9, 9, 10. Those are some of my printables. 9, 10. Which one of these do I want to use? 11. That's going to be good. 11. Oh, I got to use some of. I haven't. Oh, I know what I'm going to put in here. 11. Let's hold this to the side for a minute. Got to use this. 11, 12. Where is my guide? Okay. I am going to be putting some fabric in here for sure. And I'm also going to put a few of those other papers in here. I'll show you guys. So I think what I'm going to do is, let me just rip it here. I like that sort of rip edge here. I like that. So let's keep that. And then probably will I'm gonna keep the length because I'm sure this is nice thick paper. I think I may make a pocket. I may not. We'll see. So let's see. She sent me some really good papers. This stuff is pretty. Okay, so normally she'd be in the chat. She's not in here today, actually. Tiff sent these to me. Terrific. I have things to show and say. Oh, good, Ellen. I know you do. I can't wait to see what your archetypes, what direction they took this month. Fun. I'm loving peace and om. Hello, all, and Robyn. I'm a bit late. How long is this session already going? We started at noon. So, but it's always going to be a replay. So you'll get that too. Handmade art books are interactive. I think that's part of why I love them. So yes, I love the interactive part of them as well. That's like huge for me. Okay, so we're going to put some of this paper in because we can. We just figure out the best way. Like if I fold it like this, it's going to give me what I need. Okay. I think I can fold it like that. I'm just going to take it and fold it in half. Just rip it where it already is folded. So I think this right here is medical strength paper that I stained. So those of you who have some medical strength, you can also use like menu tissue. Of course, our beloved, I'm gonna put this way, onion skin. It's just, when I first started showing onion skin on the gel plate, which was years ago, so I'm going to take credit for doing onion skin on the gel plate. Because when I started doing onion skin on the gel plate, it was so early, hardly anybody was even printing on the gel plate. Just a few, and nobody was using the onion skin. But I had been using it in some of my other art projects, so I had a lot of it. Well, anyway, once we all started using it, and then we're online searching and getting, you used to be able to get a whole ream, like 500 sheets, or let's say 4 something or 3 something, depending on like how much had already been used on Etsy and stuff. I was buying them for like $25 for the box, $30 for the box. Those days ended quickly because we all started buying it, which I'm glad everybody started using it. It ended up being like almost like $200 a box now. If you find it, it's like, whoa, hey Yvonne, no. Oh, it's okay. We're working on our travel journals and books. I did some book flips. You'll enjoy the replay because I did a lot of show and tell on some of my books and stuff like that. But so now it's like crazy. You might get 20 sheets for $20. I still have a stash of it. But I used to literally get it from the paper suppliers, but you can't, like all of a sudden they stopped making it. But years ago, because I had a line of greeting cards that I made. I had a agent in New York, and she represented a number of artists in sort of paper goods like that. And she sold all over the world. I mean, my stationery products were everywhere. I mean, it was a lot of fun when I was doing it. And I used to use onion skin. I used to print on onion skin and put and make some of my stationery stuff with it. So I used to get boxes of onion skin for like $22 a box, 500 sheets. And you could, 15 years ago still, you could go into the paper places and buy it. Not anymore. I've even tried to track down some of the manufacturers of it that used to manufacture it and see if I could. Now, these are longer, but I want to just make them be sort of like this concept. So anyway, Yeah. But nobody was willing to start. Well, they said it makes sense. They said, well, how much are you going to buy? Well, I'd have to buy, 5,000 boxes or something of it for them to start production on it. And I knew where there were a lot of you guys who wanted it. I wasn't convinced there was 5,000. So I was like, that was a few years back. I tried to do that. Maybe 5 years, maybe before COVID. The bookmaking is great. Getting those paper. What did you say? Paper? We've been having piles. Yeah, exactly. We've been having autocorrect problems, Yvonne, all afternoon. This AI thinks it's smarter than us these days. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but it really does. Doing those mini books really does help to get those piles down, doesn't it? Like, I'm impressed. I'm getting a lot done. And then the ones that we're leaving for Try Me, we don't have to put all the pockets, and you don't really have to fill them out the same way. Put a nice little note in them, and they just become almost like a card for the right person to get. And it's just a bunch of beautiful papers that, like we were saying earlier, are interactive, and what have you. So I folded these all like that. So let's see where we are. These are going to go in a minute. These papers right here, I want to take these pieces. I'm going to get the height right. These right here, I am going to tear down because it's going to be easier than. Let me get my head wrapped around this process. So this is the size we need. Okay. So these I'm going to just go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and cut those pieces off. They can be reused as a part of the collage process, because these I want to make these a half. A few of these the half sheets. Okay. It'll make sense in a minute. These are already going to be like this in the book. I thought I had another one of those. Yeah, we're going to need one of these so they're not all patterned. Okay. So keep those pieces there. Where's that other piece I had? Right here. So we'll kind of figure this out when we go to assemble it. Okay. Okay, so let's just see. Okay, so these are all going to be like that. I'm going to have to still stain these like we talked about, but at least you get the idea of what we're going to do. Let me see. Let's see. What are you saying, Rachel? I've seen the listing for Fidelity onion skin 500 sheets for about $45, but I haven't tried it. But no, it's not. I've seen it too. And when you get it, it's not onion skin. It's really what it is. It's thin paper. It's like paper more like this that you know, like how when you get engraved printed invitations and it'll open it up and it'll be like a piece like this in there that just keeps it from bleeding. That's what it is. It's not even onion skin because I've gotten it before. It's just really, it's really tissue paper that's not much more different than deli paper. It's not onion skin. I tried that too. Um, yeah. Oh, and silk also, Yvonne. Do you find that so other people in like in let's say Australia, New Zealand, they have onion skin there? Gosh, that would be good to know. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, let's see, these, same thing. Let me just 4.5. So I'm just folding these. We talked about. And oh, love this. So and they don't have to all be the exact same width. You know, you can change the width. Okay. Oh, we want this one for sure. I think I'm gonna make this a little narrower. Okay. This one for sure. It's good. Okay. Then we have these. And we have this one. So let's see. The way I think I'm going to do this, I still want a few more pages that are going to be the do-si-do. So let me rip this off. Okay, let's see where we are right now. If I haven't sufficiently confused everybody. Which pattern is that? This one? This black and white one, Yvonne? Oh, but do they have onion skin there? You said they do? Oh, like, oh, I didn't realize that real onion skin? Because I would definitely get some too. Well, that's good. He's going to be able to bring back and put some in his shop. I'll have to check then because I know I have a relationship with the distributor there with my books. I could, and she kind of does. I can find out from her too because boy, that would be epic. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. I think this paper is a little thick. I'll just maybe use this as a pocket or something because I don't want too many fold ups at the bottom. Will make it too much. Okay, so let's see how we're going to get this together. And this is kind of like preliminary. I just will sort of start and somewhere. That's a great place to begin. with that pattern. Okay, so we'll just start putting things in. Let's put this one. And I'm known to change the order, so let's say if we put this one, this is that kind of that do-si-do, then we can put this one. And what happens is these will, I'll show you, these get glued together. So they don't have to be. So let's say if I'm gonna put that one with this one, what I'll do is just overlap it a bit and then just a little bit of glue. Just a little bit. And that'll hold it in place enough. And then it's gonna be sandwiched in the book. So let's take this and put it with you just kind of put these half sheets together, and you may have even have some half sheets that you've used, tearing it off as something else, and then, you know. So just let them dry. I think I like that with that. Some of these are going to be a little short because I used them from pages that I had torn, but it doesn't matter because you can always, I use different sizes, and then you can always add others. But anyhow, that's basically how I do the hat sheets. I don't glue the whole thing all the way at all because I want them to have that movement. And once you sandwich them in between the pages, they'll stay in place. So let's keep going because oh, we're doing good on time. We're just coming up on 2 hours. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so that. So what I do is I get all of my base papers in here first, and then I'll come back and sandwich fabrics in, and then the odd out papers. And like I'm saying, I'm not committing right now to any order. I'm just getting them in here. So, you know, it starts looking like this, right? That's good so far. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is take these. Now these right here. Okay, so let's take one of these sheets. Use it as a template. So I want to cut these edges, this off. Because these pieces don't need to have anything extra. You can always save these pieces and use them as part of the collage. This is the kind of stuff I would save and then take in my little stash of extra papers. Because at least I know the colors. Like all these pieces I would keep in a stash because that one I might keep as a pocket. Let's just fold it up and see. I don't like that. This is sort of thin, so it shouldn't. That might just be a nice sort of already glassine kind of place to have something. Yeah, that works. I like that. I'll do the same thing with this one. Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll have to look out for Seth's shop and see what he brings back. He already said he was going to be bringing it back, Yvonne? Yeah. Keep an eye out on it. Onion, let me see. It's a great idea for smaller pieces. Yeah. I've never seen onion skin paper in the shops. Yeah, because you're over there, Julie. Why don't you talk around and find out what the onion skin looks like there? Because evidently he says there it's some, what you'd have to do is talk to the paper supplier. Do you have places like, you know, like where office supply stores where you go and get reams of copy paper and different card stock, like those places, not necessarily your office supply store, like we have Office Depot or we have whatever, but they're places like I know on the East Coast it was something called Lee Papers, and so they sold cartons of paper to like stationery supply stores, to offices and stuff. It's like a place like that. um Yummy papers, love the sound, I know. Oh, you said, what did I ask, Yvonne? You said no. Oh, he didn't necessarily say. Okay, I think that was what I asked you. Okay, so now we put these in there. Yeah, check it out. Okay, so let me know if you find something out. Okay, so now we have these. So now what I want to, oh, we have these. So let me just go and figure these out. I need to cut. This one is a little bit too. So these are a little shorter. That's good because then we can put them, you can put them in places like here. See, I'm still going to stain that, but I'm just giving you guys the idea. So see, they can tuck in and they'll just live at a different layer in the book. So that way, any pieces that you already have, and see how then they just separate like that? They're good. Just that little tacking is enough to allow it to move. So let's just kind of stick them in places like that. That's good. So that way, when I travel, after I've made the books like this, then they're ready to, you know, I have to fix this one. Where's mine? Here it is. Hopefully, I don't rip it the wrong way. Come down, I should be okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. So yeah, these will be ready just to start using. Wait a minute. So I put that one there. I have to kind of figure out where, yeah, this one will go here. So that's good. Now let's go back, and then I go ahead and put these onion skin type of papers in there. Split the pages, looks so cool. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. No, I just know for his shop when he travels. Oh yeah, no, it's no big deal. Okay, so I love that bit. I think I'm gonna start off by putting that here just to see, because see, I can see through it. So it might, oh, that's kind of cool to have that, and then sort of have this. See how when you put that in there, it just gives a different texture to the page. And then, yeah, and then it sort of just gives a different look to your book. So it just starts looking more diverse and interesting than all the papers being the same. This is good. Let's go ahead and put this here. And then, let's see, I'll put this here. Okay, so what's nice about this is we have enough that's got some images and has a little bit of stuff going on, but not too much that's going to get in the way of allowing ourselves to be inspired by where we're going. It just, what I like about it is it gives sort of a jumping off point. You don't have to feel like you have all these just blank white pages and you're like, where do you begin? You know, and I also I don't necessarily do it in order either. So I might be working on something or got a piece of ephemera or something that inspired me. And I might just flip through the book and find where I want to put it. Like it doesn't have to be placed like, you know, starting at the beginning and working all the way through. So this, it's enough color, but it's enough blank pages. You got to get rid of these white pages. This is no good, but I like the pattern. So I wanted to put those in there. Okay, we're looking good. So now let's go back to our cover. This is going to make its way in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick it in at some place. And that's basically, so we started off with 12 pages. Then I put in 4 more, so that's 16. And I think I put 2 more in. So I probably have about 18 pages in here. And that's good. Okay, so now back to this here, back to our cover. It's not going to be totally dry, but it'll be enough for, yeah, it's still got moisture in it, but it'll be enough for me to show you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that piece out. And then I'm going to cut this. Because this was a little bit longer, and I don't need that. And I don't need to fool with trying to, you know. So then we'll fold it up like that, and then this will become the cover. Oh, you don't see any right now, Julie? And this is the cover for our book. Oh, look at Miss Travel Journal for Morocco. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So that's just using, oh, Yvonne, that's using the black file folder that you sent me. Yes, I did stain them. That's the medical strength paper. So I just coffee stained them. Remember you sent me these black file folders? Well, I used one of those to make this cover. You'll see when you go back to the beginning, but it becomes the cover for the, that's going to go inside of, so like how I normally have one like this, that goes inside of here, and then it goes inside the journal. You know, you've seen that before. So what is going to happen here is, let me see, do I have another? I think this, I could use this one right here. So that would end up going inside of the book like this one did. So I'll take a rubber band, of course, and I mean, it's one of these, not rubber band, but it's the corded elastic. So it holds together like that. And then I have to figure out how I put this in. These, oh, I know what I do. Well, I'll just leave that in there right now. This goes in here like this. And then from there, this goes in here. And that's how I put it back together. So I'm going to make a different cover for this one, like I said, but if I were going to carry this journal, then that's how that would get in there. And then that would be my new travel journal. And then she's ready to go. I missed that page, but anyway. Then it's ready to go, but I already have a little bit of inspiration on these pages. So for right now, I'm gonna take this off because this is still wet, but I wanted to give you the full idea of, you know, how we do this back into my journal. So we'll let this dry. And yeah, sweet. Okay, Julie, she said, I can't see any in Australia, but hopefully we'll find out if you might have some down there. So that cover is going to stay drying. This is that. And then before we sign off, I was going to show you guys, I'm going to be working on this one as well, but I was so inspired by Roxy, who, you know, we were talking about her printables, and she had been doing these fabrics. And of course, I love them. I bought some of her fabrics because I love her printables. So I'll use them in different things. And so I started working on, these are my samples, but I started working on some from my gel prints, from my photos, from my travel photos with, you know, with my vintage papers. This is one of my collages from the Silk Road using my stamps and stuff like that. They really look good. I mean, they've come out good. I'm working with a company. I'm working with one in Europe and one here, but I really think they came out good. This is all on linen, so it's all linen. And I was playing with the different weights, but I really think I like this, either this medium weight, and I love the thin one. This thin one is real. See how you can see through it? I don't know if you could tell, but it's really pretty. I love it. So I got some of the same patterns so I could see what they look like. And then this is even on cotton, and it's a nice polished cotton. It's got like a little bit of a sheen to it. So that one's on cotton, and this one is on linen. So anyhow, I'm gonna be using these in the books. I think they're great for covers. And I'm probably gonna make some for the Moroccan book, but I'll be doing these. Probably I'll offer these out in, maybe I might have things ready by August or September. I don't know, because things take a while. You know how that is. But I'll let you guys know, because I just love these fabrics. And then the linen rips so beautifully. And to be able to use them back in your books, use them back in our collages. Oh, so good. Thank you, Julie. So I think that's everything to show you guys. Yeah, that's everything I'm working on. Oh, see, I already started using this one. You see, it rips, you know, of course we love that rip, because that's what linen does. It rips so nicely. And that, using these along with my stain papers, so good. I mean, even like, look, this is good together, because this is like the scripting on there, with the actual canvas. I could have covered it with these too. Yep. Alrighty, let me get back to you guys. Let's see. Where am I changing it to? I'm still trying to learn StreamYard. Yay! Wow. That was a cool 2 hours. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Well, I got the starts of my travel journal going. Love it. Got some staining to do. So hopefully you guys got a little inspiration there. They look ethereal. Yeah, thank you. I feel like they're going to be so good. I really love them. I really wanted a good linen and a good cotton. So I had a lot of different samples sent to me from different companies. And then I settled on a couple of them. and then just sort of seeing. But even if the printing is so good, you can even see like the text on them. Like this right here. I mean, look, you can literally see the old document. Like it's really, look how clear it is. It's like really good. And that photo that I took, my goodness, I'm so impressed with technology. All right, ladies, well, and gentlemen, whoever is in here hanging out with me, all sounds good. Let's stay in our studios, stay out of trouble, enjoy our lives, stay out the fray, and I'll see you back in a couple of weeks. But anybody who has been to Morocco, share whatever you already have with me, pretty please, because I'll be there like almost 3 weeks, and I want to. I'd hate to be standing right next to a shop that you had an amazing experience in, and I get back and you'll say, "Oh, you see that picture? We went in that store," and I'm thinking, shoot. So let me know up front. All right, take care, everybody. So clear. I thought it was paper at first. I know, Yvonne, it's crazy. It's all beautiful fabric. So I'll be letting you guys know about it. All righty. Love you guys. Take care. And I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Peace out.